Hello and welcome back to Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Now this playthrough will be a bit more quiet. This is for two main reasons. The first one is I want to actually focus on the game itself. I'm not too good at this game, so I want to actually be able to focus on the more difficult parts, because I still want to get a bit of a good time at least. Second reason is I stumble and repeat myself and do a whole lot of other very awkward stuff when speaking a bit too much. So I'm going to try and be a bit more reserved when it comes to talking right now. Anyway, let's get started. Now there's a couple of things that I've learned from playing this game since last time. The first one is you need to be a bit more calm and slow with your hammer movements. There's two main reasons for that. Strength and focus. You get a lot more strength out of your swings from swinging slowly, and of course you're a lot more precise and focused when you do things swing slowly, because that's pretty obvious. When you swing quickly, you tend to make very erratic movements, and thus you swing yourself off a lot of places. Like over there. This is a very poor starting run, I have to admit. Normally I am a lot faster, though you can't have everything, and perhaps we can make up for this poor showing now later during the more problematic parts like orange and ice. Not the best chimney right there, but definitely better than some of the previous runs I've had. Though my finishing so far of the chimney has been perhaps the most awful. This requires a lot of just slow swinging to succeed. There we go, got on top of the girder. And there we go. Here comes a pretty good example of why slow is usually better in this game. Because I'm going to do a slow movement. There we go. Still not really the best launch. I've had much better launches where you almost launch yourself up onto this part from one go. But hey, getting on it in the first place is already success enough. It's about the end product after all. Execution is nice, but it's not necessary. And this is also a great example of what I meant, that I tend to stutter and stumble over my words quite a bit. In comes Orange Hell, the biggest run killer of all. Let's see if I can actually manage to do this well this time. Requires a lot of pulling and a bit faster movement. Not the worst, Orange. Not the worst. Not the best, but not the worst. Wow, that's a pretty good church actually. It's not the best either, but I'm glad I at least got that recorded. Should have gone on top of the house a little bit faster than that. Okay, now comes my biggest time waster, which is snow. Almost had it there. That was just a very bad launch for me. I need to sink a bit deeper. Yeah, I was a bit too close to that one rock over there. There we go. Sir Topham Hatton got in the way for a bit, but there is a way to actually get on top of this ledge by crawling or by climbing on top of that little side part over there. I've done it before, but I don't know the exact science behind it. So I am not going to attempt that right now, since for a faster run I at least want to be a bit more sure of what I'm doing. That was, by the way, a very stupid thing of me. That was trying to rush it. Even though I said just a few minutes earlier that taking it slow is the best way to go about things. There we go. Let's try this again. There we go. That's a lot better. There we go. I try to rush that again, as you can see. And as you can see, rushing you gets you nowhere. Whilst being calm gets you on top. Now I have done this before by just doing this all the way, but I'm not going to do that yet because yes, it is a lot faster to swing yourself rather than do the pogos that I'm doing right now, but the pogos are the more secure way of doing things. And I don't want to ruin this entire run by trying to pogo across, or by trying to swing across and then launching myself back down. Okay, that was a pretty good bucket. Alright, here comes here comes a part that I either do really, really well or really, really poorly. There is never an in-between. I either get to the top instantly, or I do this and I struggle over a single bit. This part is only really hard at the start and at the end. And the middle part is actually pretty easy because you get a lot of notches really quickly there. But like in this part, this is like a bit of a checkpoint on ice. But then you get to this part and it suddenly becomes a whole lot harder. Yeah, this is far from my best run. My best run has been 6.5 minutes so far. And I think once we actually get to the clock up here, we will see that that isn't exactly going to happen this time. No, I still think that we can get something pretty swell here. Oh, that was a bit of a very weak jump. There is a difference between careful and just sluggish, and that little pogo there was just sluggish. You know what? I'm actually going to be very careful here this time. Because I have screwed up Radio Tower more times than I can imagine, actually. And there we go, we're at the end. It took a bit, but we got there eventually. Now let's try and carefully launch ourselves right there, because those meteors can really screw up your time if you don't do it fast enough. Let's see, did I get there? Just in time. What time did we get? 7.5 minutes. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I've had much better times. Like I said, 6.5 minutes is my best time. Though 7.5 is, of course, not the worst either. Now, I am recording this, so unfortunately can't do this right now. But that was it. That's one of my faster speed runs. I hope you enjoyed it, even with my ramblings, since I didn't really focus on what I was saying, more like just saying things for the sake of saying things. And at least we got a pretty decent run out of it. I hope you enjoyed your time, and perhaps I'll see you sometime soon. Goodbye.